her area in south of Spain.
Let me just say that if she is in as a viewer, she can raise her hand and I'll try to pick up on that, promote you.
I can't remember her name. So what we're trying to say, this is according to what we announced months ago. Southern Europe will start feeling tremors when the final push comes in. And people in southern Spain are reporting it. We know of the earthquake in Gibraltar. Uh, her name is Serpa. Do you see it? SIRPA. Rick, we've seen the name coming up. Um,
Uh,
I hope she's on the teachings. If she's on there, she can explain to us. She was telling us that they are feeling the tremors, and these are prelude to the final push for the separation of the what I call um, the separation of the two continents. This is what we see. We are not raising alerts, but it's our job to inform what we see. My biggest fear was the start of the tremors in the what I call European South continent. South of this continent is getting the push from the South American moving towards it. As it flips over, it will create a massive shock across the what we call is known as a what I call the wall fire in the back end of North America, China, Central Asia, will go right across the Himalayas, right across through Iran and Turkey. And with the shakes or with the vibration, what we see in southern Italy, southern Italy will become vulnerable too. What we see in southern Europe, the circle completes and the whole continental plates finds its balance. This will take minimum between 10 to 20 years to complete. Once this process starts, it's not going to be overall over. And then the whole totality of it will last at least a few hundred years to complete. We are on the point of the break, if it happens in the next few months or years. And we're seeing the shakes coming in, which means the plate, as I said, the Argentinian pin, which was the what we predicted will happen has happened, and what we predicted, the shakes and the tremors in Western Europe, has been confirmed. So we are on the verge of separation of two continents. Now with it, if we were dinosaurs, most probably we still would have lost some somewhere, but at this point we see it would happen with the whole structure of the planet. It's not just one continent moves, now the whole structure has to move. There's no choice. Can you put a map of the world on and I explain to you, Rick? Can you go to Wikipedia and allow me to share that I can
yeah.
go and share on it? I'll explain to you. This is not to create mayhem or panic. This is explaining a scientific phenomena which is happening. We see the whole evolution, but the rest of the evolution depends on the movement of this section. And it'll take, you will carry on the whole, more or less the whole of the world solid structure will start moving. And we will feel this move. I'm trying to see. I need the two contents on the flat, then I can explain it in a way what we see. And I raise the alert to the maximum. We are on a full alert. And can we have the other way, that way we have America, continent of America facing Asia? Can you find one that way, that we don't see the African? Because the African, then we come back to this one. I need the other side. They all do the maps the same way. We need the American continent facing in the Pacific side. Yes, that's the one I need. Yeah. Okay, allow me to share. I'll explain to you. I'll go on my table and I'll share with you what we see. What we see is the following. We see that the breakpoint at the point of Panama. We see the evolution motion of the bottom up, which is putting the pressure on the southern Europe here. This is part of the process. What's going to happen in this movement where we lost the biggest point, which was the Argentinian pinpoint, is that the continent will start moving this way. That's why we see the earthquakes on the southern Spain. Means the solid base below foundation of the top surface has moved. What is going to happen in this turning this way? It creates a forces on this way and the releases the what we call LA condition. This in turn will bring disaster into Mexico, will affect the waters in the coast of United States in southern coast. These earthquakes will be felt as far as New York and Washington. At the same time, with a twist in this direction, the whole fire ring will start moving because now it's being freed. In this process, the pressure will put pressure on the west continent of east part of the Asian continent. And this, most of the pressure will face direct, will move Himalayas back all the way to Iran and to Turkey, where it'll join with a movement on this side. The whole movement will be felt because we are all going back on. We will see earthquake in New Zealand as much as in Hawaii, as much as in the parts of Australia. The biggest problem will face the east coast of Africa, the west coast of Africa. The east coast and Central Asia in this part is one of the safest at this moment. This is why we moved to Dubai. That's why we made Dubai the central position for the universal government to be stated in the state of Dubai. So, as you see, all the European governments will become unstable because a lot of people will move in different directions. The only stable condition, the only stable position we'll see at this moment is more or less northeast of Canada.
So even the west of Canada will be affected, like Vancouver and
It
Victoria.
is in a way we get hit by the backlash. Depends how far deep the internal waves will go. This is a phenomenon. This is how this continent we call Australia was separated millions of years ago. If you were an animal or a man on this, you would have felt the same condition. But this is a huge mass because this mass here, I tried to get you a different color. Let me get the blue. This mass here is part of the balancing mass with the above mass here. So when it moves, everything else moves with it. It has to find adjustments. The position which we see due to this move, the country, what we know as United Kingdom, will freeze overnight. Or it goes to high temperatures that are not livable because of the water flow condition which passes United Kingdom and keeps it in a livable condition. As we know, it's the water flow which keeps the nation of or country of United Kingdom in a temperature which is livable. All the water flows within the sphere of the oceans will change slightly. This is what we see, and what I see, this is my personal opinion, we shall not and we cannot reach everyone. One of the reasons we are teaching so rapid and bringing everything out is those who gather the knowledge rapidly can provide food and energy and medicine or help for themselves.